Stolen Techniques Part 2, a series going over techniques that are known to be signature moves of a certain character, but other characters in the verse has either seen this technique and used it for themselves or has actually used it against the original creator. And for this one, we're going to be talking about the Destructo disc, the great equalizer, as this move can single-handedly close the gap between power levels against unsuspecting foes, which is why it's actually copied so many times. The first person to do this is Vegeta. After having it done to him in his Great Ape form, he decides to do the same thing to Great Ape Gohan. Later on in an uncanon movie, he actually uses it against Cooler in the return of Cooler to give Goku the final blow. Next up, in another uncanon movie, Krillin has a face-off against Amon, who also seems to have a variation of Destructo disc. They end the draw as the two discs collide and go past each other, neither breaking nor injuring their respective opponent. Frieza is also next, as he uses the Destructo disc against Goku. However, it turns out that Frieza truly wasn't cut out for it, or when you think about it, maybe he was. Either way it goes, Frieza didn't like the end result. Next up after that is Cell, as Cell uses Frieza's variation against Goku and then later on uses Krillin's variation against Gohan, pretty much showing that he opts for Krillin's variation as a show that Krillin's is actually naturally stronger while Frieza is more based on movement. After that, we see Android 18 use it against the Mighty Mass, which every time I see the Mighty Mass nowadays, all I can think about is 3 goblins in the trench coat thanks to D&D. So the Mighty Mass can actually go a long way, while the 3 goblins in the trench coat gets found out quite easily. Next up, we see Goku use this variation, once against Super Buu and then another time against Jiren. Now I know there's a lot of memes when it comes to Goku and Super being a lot dumber than Goku in Dragon Ball Z, but when he uses the variation in Super against Jiren, you gotta admit that was pretty tough and pretty smart of him to do. Also, I forgot to mention that he does use the Destructo disc in the movie with Turles to cut off Gohan's tail just like Vegeta did. So Goku's a pretty smart cookie for doing this. Then we can also see Baby use a variation of this, or at least begin to. He doesn't actually pull it off, but you can see what he's going for here. Now there's also a point in time where Majin Ozoto might have used the Destructo disc to actually cut off Piccolo's left leg. Now that's also an uncanon event, along with the GT version, but these are all the variations of the Destructo disc being a